Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I want to overall talk on how to be funny. I feel like I should overall give you guys the secret recipe on being funny because there's at times when people will crack jokes and I don't want to laugh, but I also I don't know what emotions to feel when the person cracks a joke that wasn't funny. And that's the thing where it's like, you don't even need to like crack a joke to be funny. You can honestly like just talk on your life, but in a comedy way, and people will be like, oh, well, like they're laughing about it, they're cracking jokes about it. So I'm like, I guess I can laugh about it and stuff. But yeah, it's just, I just feel like that people, when your jokes come off as like, it sounds forced. It don't sound like something where it's like just naturally coming out of you and stuff. Like it sounds like a forced joke, like it's a synthetic joke. You know how there's like regular weed and then there's synthetic weed. Synthetic weed is them forced out jokes. Regular weed is just the natural jokes and stuff. If I can paint the picture for my pothead listeners out there, all right, I feel like pothead is very derogatory. All right, I take back what I said. Take back, please. I'm not, y'all ain't potheads. You guys just got a lot going on and stuff. So, but anyways, I'm pretty sure people catch what I'm saying though. Like, it's just bad. Like comedy is just not good, or more so forced comedy, because I feel like there's no such thing as bad comedy. Like I was watching a little bit of Dave Chappelle's new special, the one that he's like facing all this controversy and stuff, and people was in the crowd laughing. Now I did notice some people in the crowd that wasn't finding his stuff funny. And I just feel like that, there's people out there where their taste in comedy is different from other people's taste in comedy. And that's one thing I feel like that you should definitely be, like crack jokes with people, like, or tell them things. And if you laugh about it, but they're not, like, they're looking at you like that wasn't funny, like, then okay, them type of people, stay away from them, all right? But no, like, I mean, even if it is, like, I do feel like that there's just certain lines in comedy that you shouldn't cross. Like, there's certain things that's, like, not a laughing matter, because that was, like, one of the things I had talked on in my stream last night. I was talking on how this girl back when I was in high school had turned me down. She rejected me because I was black. I was black. I'm not black anymore, but I am black. I like, all right, let me rewind what I was saying. So she rejected me because of the color of my skin. For those that wasn't aware, all right, because I've been told before I have kind of a white voice, so people can't really tell. I'm sorry I'm not saying the N-word in every sentence, but anyways. But no, the girl did say that. She overall rejected me because of the color of my skin. And I'm like, and I know it was funny because when I was talking about that last night, I had, because that's what I had overall was saying. I was just like, fam, I'm not even that black. Like, I'm like a dark caramel. Like, if you left like caramel in the oven for maybe a few seconds long, like if caramel was like a shade darker, like one shade darker, that's me. Like, that is literally my skin tone. It's like a darker shade of caramel. So I'm like, fam, like, you're making it out as if I look like a TV that's off, or a locked character in the video game that you gotta unlock when you're like level 28 or something. You got me out here feeling like I'm like the darkest African American of all time, and I'm like, fam, I am not even that dark. Like, I'm saying, like, a couple of more shades, you're gonna be the same skin complexion as me. So I'm saying, like, that doesn't even, and when I sit down and think about it, the more and more I think about it, the more and more, silly it was. Because I'm like, fam, like, that's, at the end of the day, there ain't a reason to reject somebody. So that's why I was like, she's going through some stuff. Let's just say that. She's going through some stuff. But no, it was funny because it was one of my friends. She was just cracking up in the chat when I said that. Even after the stream, she told me how funny that joke was when I was saying, like, I'm not even that black and things. Because I'm like, I'm really not. Like, you like look me up. Just look up TMossBoss. Like, on a scale from like 1 to 10, 1 being like, I don't even know what 1 would overall be, but 10 being like charcoal black. Like, you're like a midnight black. You are a black that hasn't even been discovered. Like, you're a black where it's, you got going like a deep part of Africa. I mean, like a deep, deep part of Africa. Like, if you looked it up, like, the government will honestly, like, travel to your house and be like, how did you know of this shade of black? Like that hasn't been like, it's like the actual like Wakanda people and stuff. I'm saying like there's so many ways to describe it, but I'm like, that's how, at one point in time, that's how I viewed it. I'm like, dang, how dark am I? I'm like sitting there looking in the mirror like, okay, I can see myself. I mean, I can't see myself when the lights are out, but that's like how it is for everybody. But I'm like, fam, I'm not like black enough to where it's like you could turn the light on and it's like I'm still dark. Like there ain't no like no light. You know how like when you turn the light on, and then rather like when you're an area where there ain't like a whole lot of light, and then there's like, for I guess like, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe she's seen me in areas where there wasn't a whole lot of lights. But I'm like, fam, we're in school pretty much like half the day. So if you sit down and think about it, there's a lot of lights. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe she's seen me out in the hallways because it was an outdoor school. So maybe she's seen me out in the hallways a lot because the hallways didn't really have like a whole lot of lights and stuff. But I'm like, fam, like in the classroom, like, you can see like what I look like and things. So I'm saying like, if we could turn this in, just take flash photos of me. If it's that much of a problem. But if not, I'm like, bruh, like you just being picky and stuff. But anyways, but no, like, see, that's what I'm saying, like, with overall being naturally funny, and I know people probably would be out there and they wouldn't find that a laughing matter, and it's people like that where, you can't really crack jokes with them. You can't crack jokes with a person where it's like, if you say something, and then they're like, they give you a whole life lesson about it and stuff. Like, I'm trying to think, like, okay, so let's say, for an example, you're playing a video game, and then you cause like some little kid to cry in the game, right? Cause a kid to cry. You go back and tell like one of your friends or whoever, and you're like, oh man, it was so hilarious. Cause this kid to cry on Call of Duty today. And then they're like, that's not funny. You don't know what that kid was going through, and that was probably the final straw. How do you honestly feel about that? How do you feel that you made some little innocent kid in this world cry? And then it's friends like that where it's like, well, dang, I didn't really come up to you to, get judged. I came up to you so you can do this whole thing called laughing. Like, you found that what I said funny, and I'm like, okay, now I know that I gotta, like, talk to you about, like, I don't know, freaking shoelaces or, bald tires or something. But I'm like, I can't talk crack jokes with you because I'm like, you got some issues going on in your world. But anyways, but I'm like, yeah, it's people like that, you gotta stay away from. But then also, I just feel like that with being funny, there's just lines that you just don't cross. And I feel like that when you're saying like some truly, like, I feel like that if you are talking about a person and there's no reason for you to be talking about them, like, I'm trying to like place out an example. Like, let's say if there's like I don't know, just some old random person and things, and you're all like, oh, look at them, they look so ugly, and then you start like, elbowing people, laughing and things. I'm gonna look and be like, fam, you ain't no like Kim Kardashian. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you ain't no Kim Kardashian type. You're just more of just Kim's car. Like, you're just this, like, oversized Range Rover. Like, that's the thing where I'm like, people, they come up to me, and I feel like that, with being funny, it's like, you gotta be funny in a lot of areas and stuff. You gotta be funny in serious situations. You gotta be funny in funny situations. You gotta be funny in, like, anti-bullying situations. So that's why I feel like that I'm really good at roasting people, because there are at times where it's like people will overall like say, I've had it where it's been, so actually, I don't know, maybe, I don't think my sister will overall like sue me, well, there was a couple of times where she said some stuff about me, and then I just pretty much put down my Uno reverse card, and she would get mad, and then she would look at my mom and be like, make him apologize. I'm like, wait a minute, time out, hold on, yellow flag on the play. Okay, now this is gonna be a penalty, right here, because you said some stuff first. I ain't even say nothing to you. Like, no, there was one time I remember when, I think was I in middle school? I might have been in middle school, but I remember I was like, my mom, she asked me like, oh, what job would you like to do when you're older? So at the time being, I was like, I don't know, I guess I was like really big into like comedy and stuff. So I was like, I would like to be a comedian, like do a stand-up comedy. And that's still like a dream of mine that I have. I would like to, go up on stage and perform in front of people. Because no, that's why I had to say that I'm like naturally funny. And I feel like I'm really good at being naturally funny than like forcefully funny and things. But no, so anyways, back on this story, then I'll talk on, this like improv thing I did in the classroom. But anyways, so I said that. Then my sister was coming down the stairs and she was like, "Don't you have to be funny to be a comedian?" And so I'm kind of just looking like I ain't said nothing to her. I ain't made her mad. That came up out of nowhere. And so me, I kind of like took that as an attacking. I'm like, like in that movie Inside Out, them people in my head, they were all like, "Yep, that was an attack. Okay, so we got to return fire." So I returned fire. I made sure that was the hottest bits of fire that I could have returned. And yes, you best believe that my sister definitely looked at my mom and was all like, "Make him apologize." But no, so I remember my sister, she was like really big into like, modeling and stuff. And if I did crush my sister's dreams on modeling, I'm like, hey, I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't have said that to me. I will support her if she did want to become a model. But I'm just saying, like, do not attack my dreams, because I don't be out there attacking others' dreams. So I'm like, why are you attacking mine? But no, I remember she was big on wanting to be a model and stuff. And so that's what I said to her. I'm like, don't you have to be attractive to be a model? I'm saying you can't go up on stage looking like that. And then, that led into an argument and stuff. And I'm like, but I'm saying, like, you can't say things to me and then think like, oh, okay, it's cool if I can say that to him. But then when I say something, oh, it's a problem. Like, I'm saying, like, because my thing is this, how she felt about that comment that I made about her, that's how I felt when she made that comment towards me. So I'm saying, like, if comments ain't being made, if shade ain't being thrown, because I'm saying, I'm already dark and stuff, so I'm saying, I'm like, we ain't got to go through this, but yeah, I'm like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, it doesn't even need to be said. So I'm like, you said that out of nowhere. Like, that came from out of nowhere, all right? So I'm saying, like, in situations like that where I'm like, hey, yo, but no, that's why I say that I think I would be a good stand-up comedian, because I do well in front of crowds and stuff. Like, my thing is that I had, working at this job in Seattle and being like in, kind of just being like the main person in the crowd. Because I worked at a cashier, so there would be at times where I'm being like surrounded by so many people. And I guess maybe like, a cafe environment is going to be different from a stand-up comedian environment. Like, you can't really compare those two. But I'm just saying, I overall think that would be good because, for one, there was this, job that I was working in Seattle. And yeah, I was like, bro, I'm dealing with a bunch of different crowds. And I was, cashier. And so there's like people having conversations with me. I'm like multitasking, doing all these other different things. What does that have to do with stand-up comedy? I don't know. But I just started thinking like, hey, yo, that was a place where there's a lot of people. So I guess I know how to overall handle myself in crowds and stuff. But no, going back to when I was in high school. So I was in this speech and debate class. And honestly, that was a pretty dope class. That teacher, he was a pretty dope teacher. I had him for that. And then there was this other class that we had called TJTV. And TJTV was like this video editing class. But it was like, instead of us having, we were living a lavish life at my high school. It was funny. I'm like, you guys can do this, but you can't go and, renovate the school. And now they were wanting to renovate the school after all of us done graduated and got jobs, done had kids and stuff. Like, now they want to do renovations to the school. But no, the teacher, so in the speech and debate class, I guess there was some guy that used to go to our school, and he came back to do this like improv lesson, with the class and stuff. So I went up, fam, because I was like, hey, yo, I want to do this. So I was like, I'll admit, like, I was nervous because I didn't really know, what, like, situations I was going to, like, be able to add, but I killed it. Like, so it was like this, like, freeze tag, like, improvised lesson or something. So like, two people would be up at, like, in front of the classroom, improvising a scenario, and then somebody would yell out freeze, then you would freeze in whatever position that you're in, and then then when the person that yells out freeze, then they'll come up, tag you, and then you like, oh, okay, go back and sit down. So I would like, there was a few times where I went up there because I was like, oh no, this is fun. I like this. So I went up there, and then there was like, I think there was one I was like consulting a kid in the class that was crying. What was another one that I was pretending to be old, but I had the classroom laughing. Like, it was kids that I wasn't even chilled with in that classroom. I had like my own little section that I chilled with in the classroom. It was it was like two friends that I had in that classroom. I really don't remember anybody else in that classroom. It was two people that I was chilled with in that classroom. Only people that I sat with. But I'm telling you, I had the whole classroom laughing. So that's why I'm like, fam, to literally be like, I'm like being a professional class clown right now. Like, this is allowable. Like I ain't even gonna get in trouble for this. Like, teacher was laughing, the improv guy, he was laughing. So I was like, hey yo, I'm like, and then it was crazy because I remember when I went to go sit down, I think it was either the second or last time I went to go sit down, one of my the other friends, she looked at me and she was just like, you're really good at this. And I'm like, I didn't even know I had it in me. So it was, that's what I'm saying. Like, with me, I honestly do believe that I am just overall naturally funny. I get people telling me that all the time when I'm like doing streams or in videos. Cause that's like one thing I'm like starting to do now is like crack more jokes like with stuff. Cause I'm like, especially with my reaction videos, is because I'll be reacting to stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, let me make some comment, but I'm like, well, overall it's like not anything disrespectful, but I'm just overall just making comments just to have people talk about something in the comment sections and things. But no, it was a while ago I had reacted, so I'm pretty sure you guys know of the YouTuber Soup, and I've reacted to quite a few of his videos. But anyways, he's in this band called Slackjaw. Excuse me. So anyways, they released a song called Mean It. And yeah, so they released that song. I thought it was going to be, I thought it was another song, but it actually turns out, no, it was a song called Mean It. So in the video, I had said something along the lines like, oh, this is a song I'm going to tell my white friends about. And no, there was somebody had talked about it in the comments section. I had forgot that I had said that joke in the video. But no, when the person had commented about it, I even started laughing at it. Because I was like, hey, that, I'll admit that was pretty funny and stuff what I said. But no, I'll do that even in podcast episodes where I'm telling stories and stuff. And if it comes off as me sounding angry, I'm like, I'm not, I'm just overall, I have to say I'm like really good at, overall being naturally funny and then, storytelling and stuff. But I feel like it's just, it's overall about having like a creative bone in you. I feel like if you don't have a creative bone in you, then it's going to be hard to be, naturally funny and then, be good at like creative stuff. Like, you're going to want to try to create art in some sort of way, but it ain't going to come off as like what you're seeing being portrayed by other people. So you might see a painting and you're like, oh, I want to do that because I see somebody with a creative bone. Therefore, that means that I have a creative bone. It don't work like that. It's like, you have to have a creative, my thing is this, you have to have a creative bone. If you don't have a creative bone, then the creativity, it ain't going to be fully there. It's going to take some time to develop that bone for creativity, but at the end of the day, it's like, you can't just jump into being like naturally funny or, anything else. Because I'm like, I'm trying to think, what does it say? Oh, no, there was this episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when and it was dang, what's that comedian's name? Well, there was a comedian that was, it's like something like Hughley, I think. It's like I think, dang, what's that man's name? All right, anyways, regardless, there's a comedian, his last name is Hughley, I believe, I think, I don't know, but anyways, but no, he did a guest appearance on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And so he was supposed to be doing like this spot for like stand-up comedy, but it ended up giving, the spot was given to Will. And so Will, he gets up on stage and he's trying to like force out this like jokes and comedy and all of that. And it wasn't hitting with the people, and so they, people wasn't feeling it. And then eventually the actual comedian, he, I'm saying like Will Smith's a comedian too. That's why I was like, when I watched that episode, I'm like, fam, like Will Smith done said some things and cracked some jokes on that show. I feel like Will Smith, has he ever did stand-up comedy? Because I'm saying like that's something I would actually like to see. Will Smith stand-up comedy. Bucket list stand up. He is not Will Smith's first stand up gig. Oh, stand for the first time. For the first time. This was back in 2019. Bro, that is crazy. I'm like, that's something. So he's just, I don't. So he must just be naturally funny, and then. Dang, I'm like, that's crazy. That is honestly some crazy stuff. I would have thought like he would have overall been doing. I don't know. I just thought that's maybe how he got discovered. Like he did stand up comedy. People like what he talked on. And then he was good at music, and because he just comes off as an all around creative person. So I'm like, that's crazy. I never sat down and thought about that. I'm gonna have to watch that and stuff and see what overall he talks on, because I'm like, bruh, he can honestly do. I'm saying like he could do some stand up comedy, talk about some things. I'm like, hey, I feel like he'll have like a lot of different stories to tell and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, overall, it has to like, come from like the soul and stuff, overall being naturally funny and things. It can't just be something that's like, you just buy it like off of Amazon or something. So but yeah, take notes on what I said. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media and stuff. Just let me know that you was like listening to this podcast episode, and then let me know that you was any questions you got. So, but anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're viewing this on the podcast sharing service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 36 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you also follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your next purchase. And make sure you use my supporter creator code for Epic Games, TMossBoss. And in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.